There's nothing more painful than giving your heart to a woman who treats it like it's worthless. She replies late, barely listens, and makes you feel like you're begging for attention. But listen, Stoics don't beg, they detach. And today, I'll show you how to emotionally detach from any woman who doesn't value you, and how to regain your power like a true Stoic. Number 1. Recognize her indifference. There's a quiet kind of pain that stings more than anger or betrayal. It's indifference. When a woman no longer lights up when you enter the room, when your messages go unread or get one-word replies, when she stops asking about your day, your goals, your mind, you're no longer a priority. You're just there, background noise. And nothing wounds a man's soul more than realizing he's no longer seen. But this is where the Stoic warrior draws the line, not with bitterness, but with clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if someone does not accept your value, why should you suffer for their blindness? The truth, you are not hard to love. You're just offering your energy to someone who has already checked out emotionally. Let's strip this down to reality. Maybe you're in a relationship where she used to be your biggest supporter. Late night calls, spontaneous laughs, deep eye contact. But now, silence. She scrolls while you talk. She's cold, distant. And when you confront her, she says, "You're overthinking." But brother, you're not. You're observing. The Stoics didn't believe in ignoring reality. They believed in seeing it clearly, without emotional fog. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." If you say you are a man of value, act like it. That means walking away when your presence is treated like a burden. A woman's indifference is not a challenge to win her back. It's a signal from the universe that your path no longer includes her. Real strength isn't in chasing her love. It's in standing tall while the love fades, and refusing to beg for what should be given freely. You weren't born to be tolerated. You were born to be respected, seen, and chosen. Don't water yourself down to fit into someone's emotional absence. Detachment is not weakness. It's the ultimate power move. The move that says, I see the truth and I walk forward with dignity. Number 2, stop trying to prove your worth. This is the battlefield where most men quietly bleed, seeking validation in silence, convincing themselves that more effort means more love. They text first, they double text, they buy gifts, they plan. Surprises, they pour their soul into someone who gives them crumbs in return. Not because they're weak, but because somewhere deep down they've been made to believe that love must be earned, that their worth is up for negotiation. But here's the Stoic truth. A man who tries to prove his worth is already forgetting it. The more you overextend to get attention, the more you silently confirm that her opinion holds more weight than your own. And that, brother, is how you start losing yourself. Inch by inch, message by message, compromise by compromise. Epictetus didn't mince words when he said, "You are disturbed not by things, but by your judgment of them." It's not her silence, her mixed signals, or her emotional distance that breaks you. It's your belief that you need to win her over to be enough. That's the illusion. The cure, shift the judgment. Stop seeing her validation as the prize, see it for what it is. A preference, not a prophecy. Because when a man stops needing permission to be valuable, he becomes something rare, unshakable. Think of the strongest men you know, not emotionally numb but centered. They don't chase love, they choose it. They don't beg for attention, they command respect. And that difference changes everything. So here's the punchline, and it might sting, but it'll wake you up. If she can't see your worth when you're at peace, why should she deserve you when you're at war with yourself? Don't break your back for someone who wouldn't lift a finger for your soul. Stand up, stand tall, because your worth isn't up for debate, and any love that demands you prove it isn't love at all. Would you rather be alone and whole, or together and hollow? Choose wisely. Number 3. Emotionally step back. Detachment isn't about turning cold, it's about reclaiming your inner space. In a world that constantly pushes men to react, to explain, to prove, Stoicism teaches the opposite. Pull back, reflect, and protect your peace. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop bleeding for what won't heal. You step out of the emotional battlefield not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to know when a war isn't worth it. As a man, your silence can speak volumes. It signals control. It signals strength. And most importantly, it tells the world, my peace is not up for negotiation. Imagine this. You've been texting her for days. The conversations start feeling one-sided. Her replies are cold, delayed, and empty. Every part of you wants to ask what's wrong, to demand clarity, to chase the closure you think you need. But instead, you go quiet. You emotionally step back. Not to play games, but to reset your power. You go to the gym. You dive into your purpose. You stop checking your phone. A few days later, she texts, "Hey, are you okay?" She feels the shift. That space you gave yourself, it echoed. Because masculine detachment is not absence. It's presence somewhere else. Seneca once wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And in today's age, sometimes walking away silently, without drama, without explanation, is one of the bravest things a man can do. It takes strength to not react. It takes discipline to not chase. But that's when you rise above. You're not abandoning the moment. You're choosing yourself. And that choice, done with calm conviction, is the loudest statement of self-worth a man can make. Number 4. Let logic overrule. Lust is the enemy that wears the mask of love. It feels urgent, magnetic, even divine, but it clouds your judgment faster than any emotion. You start confusing physical chemistry with emotional compatibility. You replay the moments she smiled at you, touched you, whispered to you. But here's the cold, clear question a Stoic would ask. Is this person aligned with my values? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Lust is an outside event masquerading as inner truth. It's a chemical storm, and unless you learn to tame it with logic, it will enslave you. Think about the guy who keeps going back to the same woman who betrayed him. She texts late at night and suddenly all his progress is gone. He's in her bed again, telling himself this time it's different. But deep down he knows she's not good for him. She disrespects him, undermines him, distracts him. And yet, he stays because lust makes the past feel more vivid than the pain she caused. This is the mental trap. A Stoic man rises above it. He doesn't ask, how does she make me feel? He asks, what does her presence cost my peace, my mission, my self-respect? When you revisit your standards, not your fantasies, you gain clarity. You compare her actions to your values, not your hormones. Does she challenge you to grow, or does she pull you into emotional chaos? Detachment isn't heartlessness, it's the highest form of self-respect. It's you choosing purpose over pleasure, peace over passion. If she's not aligned with your values, then every second you spend with her is a betrayal of yourself. A real man walks away, not because he doesn't feel, but because he chooses to think. Number 5. Replace her space with purpose. When a woman leaves your life, whether by her choice or yours, it leaves behind more than just silence. It leaves behind a void. And nature, as the Stoics reminded us, abhors a vacuum. If you don't deliberately fill that space with something powerful, meaningful, and rooted in discipline, your mind will try to fill it with what it used to have. Her. The memories, the habits, the longing. You'll start replaying old moments, checking her social media, wondering what could have been. That's not healing. That's spiritual decay. The Stoic solution isn't to numb yourself. It's to redirect. Use that emotional energy not to dwell, but to build. Take that obsession that once consumed you and channel it into your mission. Start waking up earlier. Hit the gym like your soul depends on it. Learn a new skill. Pour it all into your craft. Your code, your canvas, your calling. Journal the chaos in your mind until it becomes clarity. Meditate until the silence becomes strength. That fire she lit in you, it doesn't have to go out, it just has to burn for something greater. Marcus Aurelius didn't just give us a quote, he gave us a commandment. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Because here's the truth most men never hear. She was never your purpose. She was a part of your journey, not the destination. Your mission, that relentless pursuit of becoming the strongest, most grounded, most disciplined version of yourself, that's what lasts. And the pain you feel now, that's the fuel. Don't waste it. Don't mourn the absence. Fill it with presence. Turn heartbreak into horsepower. Turn silence into strategy. And turn what broke you into what builds you. Number 6. Embrace the discomfort. Discomfort is not a curse. It's the toll gate on the road to inner strength. Detachment, especially in the aftermath of a breakup, isn't some romanticized act of serene walking away. It's brutal. It's waking up with a hollow chest. It's staring at the phone and fighting the urge to send that one text. It's replaying memories like a loop you can't escape. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Pain is not the problem. Avoiding it is. When you run from discomfort, when you numb yourself with distractions, rebound flings, or desperate calls, you trade long-term strength for short-term sedation. You don't heal. You delay. You bury the wound instead of cauterizing it. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." That's not cold, it's power. A man becomes formidable not because he's untouched by suffering, but because he feels it deeply and faces it anyway. Think of a warrior who knows the sword will cut, but steps into battle anyway. That's what resisting the urge to call her back is. It's spiritual combat. Every time you let the phone ring out, every time you sit in that silence without breaking, you're building something inside you, self-respect. Stoics knew this truth. Freedom has a price, and that price is discomfort. But that discomfort, that's the gym for your soul. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. The next time you're drowning in loneliness, remember, discomfort is the forge. It burns, yes, but it also shapes. It carves out the man you're becoming. A man who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase validation, who doesn't need anyone to complete him. Because he's already whole, scarred maybe, but unshakable. And that kind of man, he doesn't chase peace. He becomes it. Number 7, see it as a test of your stoicism. There comes a moment in every man's life when he's left standing alone. No applause, no validation, no one checking in to see if he's okay. Maybe she ghosted you. Maybe she chose another man. Maybe she just walked away without a word, and your chest feels like it's caving in. But this moment, it's not about her anymore. This is your battlefield. This is where your philosophy gets tested. not in quiet meditation, but in the raw silence of loss. The universe is asking, are you who you say you are when everything is stripped away? In that silence, your stoicism is put on trial. Can you hold your frame when rejection hits like a hammer? Can you still walk with dignity when your ego wants to beg or lash out? Imagine Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, facing betrayal and personal loss, yet writing, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. That's real power. That's the kind of inner steel you're being asked to forge right now. Not for her, but for you. Because the man who passes this test will never again trade his soul for fleeting affection. So here's the truth most men never hear. You are being forged in fire. Not everyone survives this level of pain without breaking. But if you can sit with the emptiness, if you can stay rooted in your values when your heart is screaming to chase her, then you win. Not by getting her back, but by getting yourself back. You prove to yourself that your worth doesn't need applause, your purpose doesn't need company, and your masculinity isn't conditional. This is your Stoic trial. Pass it, and you become unbreakable. Conclusion: she may never see your worth, but that doesn't mean you should lose sight of it. Detach. Not because you hate her, but because you love yourself enough to walk away. That's how Stoics move. That's how men rise. And if you felt that, comment below, "I choose peace over pain." If this message hit home, subscribe to Stoic 24 for more ancient wisdom adapted for modern men. Because silence, strength, and self-respect never go out of style.